Hi guys, I'm Captain Mike, host of Florida Sport Fishing TV and editor-in-chief of Florida Sport Fishing Magazine. I wanted to ask you something. What really makes the ultimate high-performance center console? Is it 360-degree unrestricted fishability? Is it the deck layout and the amenities that the boat offers? Is it performance and efficiency? Maybe it's construction methods and materials. You know, I really think it's a combination of all of those things together. And that's exactly why we chose a new 2015 SeaVee 370Z. This is a new high-performance step pole center console from SeaVee Boats. And I'll tell you what, it is absolutely awesome. It's really the culmination of a lot of different people's efforts over many years to come up with this perfect layout. A lot of you guys have been watching our build series. We've been sharing little videos along the way of the boat being manufactured over the last few months. Well, it's time now that we've taken delivery, to really walk you through the entire boat from bow to stern and really show you in detail what separates the SeaVee 370Z from other boats in this class. Let's go ahead and get started right up here in the bow. We'll work our way all the way to the stern, and we'll talk about, like I said, all of the different little details that make this boat really special. For starters, up here in the bow, we've got a huge anchor locker, okay? Plenty of room for a big Fortress anchor, 600 feet of line, and there's still plenty of room for probably another 600 feet of line. There's also a really nice, convenient hold up here for dock lines. I put our sea anchor up there. You can put fenders or any sort of accessories that you'd like up there. So there's plenty of room way up here in the bow for storage, and like I said, for that anchor. What's nice though is that this anchor hold was designed specifically for a Fortress anchor, and you can see it sits right in the slots with these convenient little locking mechanisms, so you don't have to worry about that anchor bouncing around, bouncing up and down, or the chain damaging anything. I'll tell you, it's a small feature, but once you live with it, you'll never want to live without it. It's really an ingenious item, it really is. Working our way back, you'll see that of course there's coaming bolsters all around the entire boat, 360 degrees, not like some boats where they're just in the cockpit. Here it's really comfortable around the entire boat. There's some little storage areas right up here in the bow as well. Fenders, camera bags, gear, you know, again, just another ingenious area to store whatever you can. And that's another nice thing about SeaVee boats, is they've taken every square inch of usable space and made the most out of it to really maximize every square inch of space. I'll tell you, it's one of the things that really stands out to me. I should also mention that there's a large door right up here where you can access that anchor locker, okay? Just in case you have a tangle or you need to get down there for whatever reason. That's a nice large door, really easy to access, and again, another nice feature. Moving our way back, we've got some retractable jump seats, okay? And these, I'll tell you, I've talked to a lot of guys at boat shows. They've questioned it. They said, oh, I don't want that forward seating. I tell you, you're making a mistake. You really need these seats. What's nice about them, as you can clearly see, they're completely stowed and out of the way when you don't need them. You don't even know that they're there. However, when you do need some extra seating, maybe you've got a big group on the boat, you're just cruising around for that day at the sandbar, you're running over to the Bahamas, whatever the case, people need a place to sit down. Heavy-duty stainless steel hinges. This is not the kind of seat that's going to rattle and break when you put a lot of weight on it. On the contrary, they're very, very sturdy. For 2, even 3 adults can squeeze on here, and they're super comfortable. And as you can see, they perfectly match those coaming bolsters, so you've got that backrest. It's a great place to relax, like I said, when you're at that sandbar or when you're taking a long run. And as I mentioned, when you don't need them, boom, just stow them, and they're gone. I'll tell you, it's one of the best features on this boat. And if you're considering a 370, I would highly consider that forward jump seat. Down here, right in the deck, they've again maximized every square inch of space. For starters, we've got a massive, massive, well-insulated cooler, 150 gallons. I'll tell you what, you can put 10 yellowfin tuna in there and still have room left over. That's really nice. Additionally, you've got 2 large rod lockers that you can use for storage. I keep all of my safety gear in one of them, life jackets, first aid equipment, etc. Then I keep my helium tank in the other one. These are 95 gallons each, so you can imagine there's plenty of room. Some guys like to stow their rods in there, and there's little cutouts that literally go way up under the deck for long gaffs. That's another nice feature and another small detail that makes a big difference. It really does. Additionally, up here in the deck, we've got another live well. This is a 60-gallon bait well. It's absolutely perfect for large baits, goggle eyes, tinker mackerel, or you can black it out with hundreds, if not thousands, of pilchards and threadfin herring. So that's a nice feature, having that additional bait well up here in the bow. From this point forward, you can see we've really maximized every square inch of space to make sure that this boat's as fishable as it possibly can be. Working our way back, let's talk a little bit about this massive console. I'll tell you what, this console is identical to what you would find on the SeaVee 390. So here on the 37, it really provides ample room and plenty of versatility. And I'll tell you, it's huge. What's nice about this console also that's different than a lot of other boats out there in this same size class is that this door slides open. And that's really a nice feature. You don't have to worry about that door flipping up and obstructing your view while you're running. That could be really challenging. So by just sliding over, I'll tell you, again, just another small feature that they thought about that makes a big difference. Plenty of room down below, an electric head, freshwater shower. I'll tell you, I keep my foul weather gear down there. There's plenty of room for additional storage. You can access the hull underneath those stairs right there if you have additional hardware that you need to get to. They really thought about everything. There's also, of course, your electronic panel, your breaker panel is right there protected behind a glass door, so that's nice. That's obviously also where you access what I call the brains of the boat. You can get to the back of the helm station and all of the electronics really easily. Everything is labeled, everything is super tight. These installers at SeaVee Boats, the job that they do is absolutely second to none. And keep in mind that every single aspect, every light switch, every pump, every wire is color coded. So if you happen to have a problem for any reason down the line or need to do any upgrades or maintenance, it's really easy to nail down the power system and what particular wire goes to what. But overall, the fit and finish is absolutely incredible. This is also where you're going to access your batteries and your electronic battery switches. And that's something that's really important. With SeaVee boats, the days of manually turning a battery switch are long gone. What's nice about this system is you get on the boat in the morning or in preparation of your trip, put a key in the dash, turn the key, your entire boat is now powered up. At the end of the trip, you turn that 12-volt key off, your entire boat is powered off. You don't have to worry about leaving a switch on and potentially draining a battery. A nice feature. And again, once you use it and once you become, accustomed to that electronic system, you'll never want to go back to the manual switches. This door also, you've got a couple of options. It can be manually actuated, as you can see, and snaps right into place, or you could have a pneumatic system where you just simply push a button and that door will slide open. In either case, it is lockable, which is nice when you're over in the islands or even at your own dock. If you want to leave some gear down below, you can lock it and know that your stuff is safe and secure. There are 9 rod holders on either side of the console. What's nice about these rod holders along the console is they're completely out of the way. We like to keep plenty of extra rods rigged and ready to go. They're not in your way. You can access them and grab them whenever you need to. And I'll tell you, that little difference often results in that one quality fish that can make a big difference. Again, another one of the many small features that make SeaVee boats the best in the business. There is also a freshwater fill on the other side of the console, which is a nice feature. This boat will hold 46 gallons of fresh water for your toilet, for your shower, for your freshwater washdown system, so you're never going to run out of fresh water, and that's a nice feature. Let's go ahead and work our way back to the console here. Here at the console, I'll tell you, you couldn't ask for a more ingenious setup. For starters, you've got that total unrestricted visibility, 360-degree visibility in every direction. Really, really nice. You've got this polycarbonate enclosure, which I'll tell you, initially when I got my first SeaVee, I was a little skeptical about this enclosure, but I've learned to absolutely love it. It's one of the best features of this boat. When you're running a boat, it's silent back here. You literally can have a conversation and whisper to each other. Really, really nice. And certainly protects you from the elements, from any wind or rain or any spray that you may be taking on a rough day. Really a nice feature. There's also a little vent for some air, and of course it is removable. If you don't want it up there, you can take it down. Plenty of dash space with a compass, of course. And then as you can see, you've got this entire electronics panel. I've got a Furuno TZ Touch network with dual 14-inch monitors. Plenty of room, and you can even upgrade to even larger screens if you would like. Of course, my JL audio system with a Fusion power base, the ICOM VHF, and all of this as well is protected from the elements and lockable. Okay, you can close this, you can lock these latches here, and in turn all of your gear is protected. You also have a little dash area down below, and again that slides open to access your gear. Another nice feature. Down here in your control panel, of course, we have our mercury gauges, our SmartCraft gauges, our mercury controls, trim tab controls, electronic ignition. Again, you're not turning the key to start this boat. It's all push button, really convenient. There's also another Fusion head unit for the stereo system. So when you do have this closed up and protected, you literally can control the entire entertainment system from this little head unit. Nice benefit, really is. Couple of beverage holders, of course your entire panel with all of your switches clearly labeled and also protected from the elements with this little enclosure here, okay? Again, they don't want any of this stuff to go bad or to, you know, fail in the future, so they've taken the extra measures to protect everything, and that goes a long way. Tilt steering, so you can really get comfortable when you're running a boat. Some guys like to run it in this position, other guys may want to run it back in this position, so you can choose exactly what's the most comfortable for you. Key West style hardtop provides plenty of shade, extends way up over the front seat, also comes back over the leaning post here. And I'll tell you, this thing is built rock solid. It's never gonna rattle. You're never gonna have any screws that pop out. Clearly you can see you can keep your rods right in those rod holders, and because of that Key West style top, the rod tips don't go up between a little slit where they'll rattle around. They just lay up a little cushion buffer, and it's nice. It's absolutely perfect. LED lighting, there's an additional speaker under the hardtop for your VHF to ensure that you've got clear communication in situations where you may be running and it may be loud. Just perfect setup here. A little comfortable little area as you're sitting at the helm station for your feet. That's nice as well. You'll learn to appreciate that. And then of course we've got this massive leaning post tackle center combo. For starters, underneath the seat is again more storage. This is where you can keep your sunscreen, binoculars, important documents. There's a nice rubber seal. It keeps everything dry down here. It also drains, okay? And as you can see, very easy to access. Really fancy stitching on these SeaVee classy, looks really sharp. Additional beverage holders across the top here. 5 more rod holders, grab rail around the entire console, which I'll tell you, when you're tournament fishing and you're running wide open for 50 miles, the crew is standing up, they're holding on to these rails, and it's really comfortable and really safe. Working our way back here, we've got this entire tackle station here, as you can see, okay, which was designed specifically for these Plano trays. They just slide right in. And what's nice about it is you've got this little rigging tray where you can pull your trays out, put them right up there, and they don't slide off, okay, as you can see. So you can have rods right in this position, have your tackle right here, and while you're running, your crew can be rigging. And I'll tell you again, every minute that you can save when you're out there competitive fishing, when you're out there filming a television series, time is really, really important and often makes a big difference. That snaps shut. Got a couple of tackle drawers, all your gear, pliers, gloves, extra accessories I like to keep in here. Additionally, you've got a leader drawer where all of your different leader spools, you've got little holes where you can bring the leader right out of the hole, so it's really easy to access. Okay, another nice benefit. A lot of guys just label these 20 pound, 30 pound, 40, 50, 80, whatever the case may be. And like I said, you can literally pull your leader right through those holes. Additionally, there's a massive frigid rigid cooler. Okay, it simply slides right out. It's on a wheel system. Okay, and nice cushion right on top for additional seating. So between the cooler here, between your jump seats up in the bow, and between that bench seat in front of the console, and of course this massive Helm seat, I'll tell you, you've easily have seating for 10 adults. You know, a lot of people look at these high performance center consoles and one of the first remarks they make is, oh, there's no seating. But really, that's not true. If you think about it and start to appreciate all of these different features and the different seating options, you'll realize that there's plenty of seating. There really is. And this simply slides right back in on rollers. Okay, very easy to handle. And now let's go ahead and work our way back even a little bit further. But before we do, let me also mention that there's a couple other features here that we didn't touch on yet. One of them is a freshwater washdown system to the starboard side here. And then there's an identical washdown system on the port side, which is saltwater. So you've got access to both of them, which again is nice. You know, you may want to get out of the water if you were swimming or diving or snorkeling or just hanging out at the, you know, really at the sandbar and you want to rinse yourself off. Maybe you want to rinse your gear off. Having that freshwater system is essential. The saltwater, of course, we all know, you know, you can't have a hardcore high performance fishing machine without a saltwater washdown system. Next, we've got this side entry door. This is very similar. You've seen it on the 390. Okay, it's got a giant hatch here, slides open on custom-made massive stainless steel hinges. You know, I've heard a lot of guys comment and say, oh, they were a little concerned because of the structural integrity of the hull, that the door may jeopardize that. That is absolutely not the case. The engineers at SeaVee and the naval architects put a tremendous amount of effort into designing this system to ensure that it would never jeopardize the structural integrity of the boat. And again, those hinges, as you can see, are massive. You will not find those hinges anywhere else in the world. They were specifically designed and created for this side entry door system. Plus, we've got a really nice stainless steel ladder right here. Okay, it just folds right up and folds out. Makes it really easy to get in and out of the boat for divers, snorkelers, swimmers, or again, if you're just hanging out at the sandbar, makes it really, really easy to get in and out of the boat. And this 370, keep in mind, you've got a couple of different options. You can have this side entry door, or you can have a transom door where you come in the boat off of the transom. Again, that might be a better option for you if you back your boat into a slip and you need to access it from the stern, from the transom. Just having that versatility to select what's the better option for you is nice. It really is. Let's go ahead and close this up. And as you can see, it snaps into place and that's not going anywhere. Next, let's talk about another benefit that this 370 has that you haven't seen before in any of the SeaVee boats. They've really ingeniously maximized the deck space here, and they've included two massive 150-gallon insulated fish boxes back here in the cockpit. Now remember, we had that 150-gallon insulated fish box up in the bow, so now we have 450 gallons of fish box capacity. Tell you what, you had a good day if you filled up all of those boxes. Another feature that really separates the SeaVee 370 from any other SeaVee model are these new corner transom live wells. What they've done is traditionally you've seen a large 60 or 70 gallon live well right in the center of the transom. They've removed that live well, stretched the transom back even further so you have an even larger cockpit, and instead have separated it into dual 40-gallon live wells, one at either corner. So you can use one or both. You know, again, a super feature, and overall it really increases your bait well capacity. And still plenty of room to maneuver. You can easily access, you know, or gaff fish or access anything that you need over the corner here or right up, you know, to the side. It doesn't interfere in any way. There were certainly some concerns that I heard from anglers on these corner wells interfering with fishability or access. Not the case at all. You don't even know that they're there. Pressurized, of course, all of the bait wells in this boat are pressurized and operated by a universal sea chest system. I'll tell you, this is really one of the smartest things that SeaVee has ever done. They pump water and feed one particular box, one sealed box down in the lazarette area. And that box remains pressurized in any conditions. And additionally, with this step hold design, one of the concerns that, of course, a lot of anglers had was about losing prime to those bait well pumps when you introduce air underneath the boat. SeaVee overcame that issue. They really did by introducing not only a through hole pickup to feed that box, but a secondary high-speed water pickup right on the transom. So even when you're running at high speeds and choppy conditions, you're always gonna get water into that sea chest. It's always gonna stay pressurized. You're never gonna lose prime to any of those pumps. And all of those pumps have a manual control so you can determine how much water flow is actually going into each live well. That makes a difference. If you're carrying hardy baits like goggle eyes and blue runners and you need a lot of water flow, you can make that happen. On the contrary, if you have fragile threadfin herring or ballyhoo and you want to reduce that water flow a little bit, you can make that happen as well. And most of these live wells have a redundancy system. They each have 2 pumps. So again, if one bait well pump happens to fail, you've got that secondary pump right there ready to go. So you'll never lose any of your precious live bait. Additionally, back in the corners here are 2 more 13-gallon storage boxes. You can use these for tackle, you can use them for additional gear, really just about anything that you want. And between these holds back here and all of the other storage on this boat, there's certainly a place for everything, that's for sure. Rod holders all around. There's actually 66 rod holders on this boat, the way that we designed it. But remember, every rod holder was configured and positioned at a certain angle for a certain reason. Really, it's like having multiple sets of rod holders. Rod holders designed for kite fishing and flatline fishing, rod holders designed for trolling, rod holders designed just for storage. So again, having access to all of them and being able to semi-customize your boat for exactly the way that you like to fish by being able to position those rod holders exactly where you want them is a benefit. It really is. Back here, we've got a nice wide open transom. Again, more combing bolsters, so when you're fighting a fish, it's nice and comfortable. Easy access if you need to hop over the transom for whatever reason to access the motors, to, you know, rinse them out with fresh water, you can easily do that. Now that we're back here in the transom, let's talk a little bit about power and performance. This is really a big concern for a lot of anglers, and I can't tell you how many questions I've already received or how many emails about the performance of this 370. SeaVee gives you the option. You can power the 370Z with either twin outboards or triple outboards. In our particular configuration, we went with triple Mercury 350 horsepower Verados. These are the new 350s that were just introduced, and I'll tell you what, this thing is a rocket ship. We're still fine-tuning the boat and getting her dialed in, but we're already seeing mid-60s. I mean, that is just absolutely sensational. Optimal cruising speed, I found it to be about 44 to 46 miles an hour at 1.1 to 1.2 miles per gallon. That is really, really impressive for a boat this size, this weight, which, by the way, the hull weight is 9,300 pounds, length overall 37 feet, a 10-foot 6-inch beam, 480-gallon fuel capacity, so you've got plenty of range, especially at a optimal cruising speed of, somewhere in those 30s to 40s, whatever you'd like to do. But having that speed, being able to go 50, 60, 65, 70 miles an hour, it's not something you're gonna do every day, but I'll tell you, if you're fishing a tournament, you're at a Bimini start, and you're looking to blow away the competition, this is the boat that's gonna do it. Because the guy that gets onto the fishing grounds first often catches the dominant fish and walks away a winner. So speed is really important. Hole shot, that's another area that is really important to a lot of guys. And what I mean by hole shot is from a standstill, punching those throttles and watching that boat get up on plane and go. This boat has it. Plenty of hole shot, plenty of mid-range thrust. More importantly, she maintains a level running attitude. You don't see any bow rise in this 370Z like you do in a lot of the other competitors' models in this size class. Here, like I said, really at any speed, she maintains that stable running attitude, and you never lose sight over the bow. Nice benefit. When you're behind the wheel, you learn to appreciate that really, really fast. Another nice feature is this access hatch right here in the transom. You can see it just easily slides open, and you have easy, unobstructed access to your trim tab motors, your power steering system, your power cables. You can even use this for some additional storage back here, and it's all sealed with a heavy-duty rubber gasket, weatherproof, waterproof. You can also have an optional bench seat right here that slides down for some extra seating if you wanted it. Again, just another one of the many features that separates this 370 from all of the other boats out there. I also like the way that they put in this little grate system right here. You can see that all of the water off this boat drains back to the transom here, back to the stern through these large channels, and there's large scuppers where all of this water exits the boat really fast. However, to prevent any trash or your kite floats or anything like that from going overboard, they've put in this little ingenious little grate system, which is really nice, and you can simply remove it and get down in there to remove any trash or to clean that up. I'll tell you, these guys really thought of everything. They really did. Let's talk a little bit about this step hull design. The naval architects, engineers, designers at SeaVee, I'll tell you, they worked behind closed doors for over 2 years perfecting this step hull design before they ever even introduced it. Couple of features that separate this step hull from all of the competitors. For starters, there are 4 large air vents, and those large air vents ensure that this boat remains ventilated at any speed in nearly any condition. You're able to get up on plane at 17 or 18 miles an hour, and you're really just able to maintain a nice cruising speed in any conditions, but more importantly, a nice, comfortable ride. The boat is so long it bridges the gap from one wave to the next, and it really performs exceptionally well, especially in adverse conditions. Now, of course, no new SeaVee high-performance center console would be complete without some goodies, and we certainly have our fair share. We've got a full upper station aboard this 370Z with another Furuno TZ Touch 9-inch multifunction display. Of course, the entire system is networked together, full controls in the upper station. That extra visibility is super nice when you're offshore looking for debris, weed lines, birds out in the distance. You're gonna learn to love that upper station. Really, really a nice feature and worth every penny as far as I'm concerned. Additionally, we've got some underwater lighting, Ocean LED, Amphibian Pro 16s. We've installed 4 of them, 2 pointing down, 2 pointing out. They strobe, you can select particular colors. Really a nice benefit, not only for aesthetic appeal, but also for fishability. And not only at night, we're starting to use lights during the day and having some success with them there as well. High-end ghost tracking, monitoring, and surveillance system. 2 onboard cameras, motion detectors with infrared beam sensors. I'll tell you what, with my Ghost system, you're not stealing my boat, that's for sure. Additionally, some Taco Grand Slam 360s. These are really nice outrigger mounts. Instead of just having that ability to have your outrigger go straight off the side or off the back, you can adjust these throughout that entire 90-degree spectrum. So it really is a nice feature. Plus you can go up and down, vertically as high as you want or as low as you want. And like I said, horizontally, you can slide them out to whatever position works for you. All in all, we couldn't be any happier with this new SeaVee 370Z. Combined, the construction methods with the cord hull, the performance of the boat, the fuel efficiency of the boat, the fishability of the boat, all of the little details, and there are so many that we didn't even get a chance to discuss today. But if you combine all of those together, you'll see that dollar for dollar, there's really no other comparison out there. See trial a 370Z today from SeaVee Boats and see for yourself why this really is the ultimate high-performance offshore center console.